This is an ad in the feed, and this is real-time monitoring. And I'm going to show you how it's interrupting the video. This is while I'm being monitored on the internet with regard to knowledge that I'm online, monitoring and aware that I am viewing content on the venue of the internet. This is pursuant to monitoring that's going on online, on the venue of the internet online. But I also want to show you what is occurring in relevant position. So it's 11:17 a.m. where the internet is a use of a means of engaging in what is harassment. When you are playing video in the feed, ads don't play. They continue to play. And the entity played ads pertaining to pubic hairs. And this second ad that I captured right here, even the substance of the content that comes on is relevant to being monitored. Monitoring is very personal. The entity is monitoring relevant position. The entity is monitoring online as well. This is the feed, so I just want to show you. This video is, zoom in here, 7 hours long. And it's been playing for over an hour where the video is interrupted with an ad. Okay, this is, again, not the way that YouTube functions. This is the feed, and this is the entity that is monitoring on the venue of the internet and doing so with the intent to harass. I'm listening to content while I'm asleep, so I want to be clear. The entity that is monitoring online is, again, while I'm being gang stalked, while I'm subject to monitoring on the venue of the internet, pursuant to what is relevant positioning and engineered light. This is being gang stalked in relevant position, and this is pursuant to what is monitoring that's occurring on the venue of the internet. Okay, this is again on the internet, which is again Wi-Fi connected. Just want to show the use of what is federal stalking on the venue of YouTube. This is, which is online. And this is, again, when you click on a video, there's no ads that come on when you're in the feed. So the use of that ad and the content that comes on, the entity interferes with an ad that pertains to pubic hair. This is, again, sexual in nature, perverted in nature, doing so in a manner where ads are not a part of the operation of the videos that you're watching online in the feed, and also doing so while aware that I'm sleeping. This is a means of harassment. This is pursuant to what the entity is doing. The police department, the city of Ontario, the entity, including the people of the state, are aware of what it is that I'm doing online, aware of what it is that I'm looking at online when I'm looking at and accessing documentation, everything that I'm looking at, in addition to what is the government. So I want to be clear, Jason Isaac Fields, this is somebody that is engaged in ongoing psychological torture. This is somebody that is gang stalking in relevant position. This is somebody that's engaged in online, whatever agency that this state actor is with. This agency is monitoring, and this is not relevant to what is any investigation. Monitoring and doing so, harassing me while I'm asleep, and then using the content, the change from the video into the feed is a means of what is activity creation, and it changes the volume, getting extraordinarily loud while you're listening to sleep. That's what is the means of waking me up. This has nothing to do with a legitimate investigation. This is something that the people of the state that are gang stalking me as well are fully engaging in as well. Psychological torture and harassment. The entity that's engaging what is monitoring on the venue of the internet. The federal government is not engaged in a legitimate investigation. I'm subject to psychological torture. I'm subject to ongoing gang stalking by the federal government as well. That is engaged in what is monitoring online. So I just want to point this out. It is currently 11:20 a.m. Jason Isaac Fields has been engaged in gang stalking me for years, and is also engaged in what is ongoing harassment, not just this individual, but the corrupt agency that's engaged in what is equally psychologically harmful, what is equally harassment, what is equally facilitation of federal group stalking and monitoring, and it's a basis for prosecution. It is not any engagement in what is the provision of justice. The target individual isn't looking to be tested, isn't agreeing to be subject to any ongoing recruit process. When you're being gang stalked, the entity is supposed to engage in whatever investigation is necessary in order to provide what is justice and deliverance, not participating in it, not sitting around testing and seeing how you respond to it while you are subject to the same pattern of conduct, which is not less threatening, not less psychologically harmful, where the federal government is engaging in that same P.O.C. This is why the entity is gang stalking with the impunity that I continuously exhibit and document. that is ongoing and exhibited in the documentation. And also while the entity and demons like Jason Isaac Fields are gang stalking and are also gloating, while this demon is psychologically targeting me as well, gloating about not having any consequences for gang stalking me. All right. It is currently 11:22 a.m. While I'm on here, the entity is engaging in this P.O.C, keeping the fake sun over me while I am in Los Angeles on this day in 2024, and doing so for the duration of the day. I captured over 22 videos with regard to the fake sun. This is not sunlight. This is engineered light, and this is one layer. This is concentrated engineered light. This is also engineered light that's spreading across the ceiling, and so is this. This is all engineered light, while the entity is monitoring on the video of the internet. This is the same video of the internet, YouTube, where my content is a means of protecting the people of the state, protecting actors that I document, removal of evidence online where the entity is indeed engaged in the pattern of conduct, and the entity is doing so pursuant to what is obstruction of justice. It is currently 11:23 a.m. The entity has the fake sun over Woodside Senior Apartments, and on this day in 2024, the entity was maintaining the fake sun as I am in the workplace, in my office. The entity is engaging what is not only monitoring me online with the intent to harass. That's the only reason why they're interfering. What is the feed with a video pursuant to what is content about pubic hairs also. And the entity is, so apparently the entity is concerned with my pubic hair. The entity is concerned with what it is, my genitalia, in other words. The entity not only having feeds relevant to what is very personal, the sex offenders that are gang stalking, the sex offenders that are the federal government, sex offenders like Jason Isaac Fields are very much concerned with what is sexually violent, engaging what is surveillance, and doing so pursuant to what is monitoring on the video of the internet, where the feeds don't have any ads, and the content of those ads is also relevant to the sex offender that's engaging in that unlawful conduct pursuant to federal stalking. And on this day in 2024, this is relevant to understanding the unique ability to understand not only is the entity gang stalking and monitoring, engaging in surveillance, the content that is occurring on the video on the internet is telling on the sex offender, it's telling on the stalker that is indeed engaging in what is monitoring. This is the entity that's keeping the fake sun over my office in Los Angeles at the same time. So just want you to see that as I open up my office door. And while the entity is keeping the fake sun over unit number 51, at 408 West G Street in Ontario, California. At the exact same time, it's 11:26 a.m. on this day in 2024, so you can see that. It's currently 11:24 a.m. The entity is stalking with light. This is not sunlight. This is not sunlight. None of this is sunlight. None of this is sunlight. None of this is the illumination of what is sunlight, and none of this is sunlight. That's not sunlight either. This is where the entity is indeed engaged in what is monitoring and interfering with ads in a way where YouTube does not have any ads in the feed, with knowledge of the fact of what I'm doing in the apartment, the fact that I'm sleeping, and also monitoring with the use of ads that are referencing my genitalia, talking about pubic hairs. That's the content that the entity is using to monitor me in a way in which ads are not used when you are in the feed listening to content or viewing content. And this is where the fake sun is on the same day over me at 1810 North Alvarado Street in Los Angeles, California at 11:26 a.m. And it's 11:25 a.m. where the entity has the fake sun over me in the same manner. So let me let you listen to that.
That window in that hotel room, which is a private space where, by the way, the people of the state are occupying that hotel room. That's a sex offense. And that's terrorism. While you are subject to the pattern of conduct, you're literally group stalking while inside of a private space. Demon that is monitoring you while you're in the shower, while you're taking your clothes off, and they are posing as somebody that you know by name, somebody in your family, somebody you call a friend, somebody you might be in a romantic relationship with, somebody that you may work with. That's the state. Engaging in systematic maintenance of present systematic P.O.C, that's federal prison. That's what's happening to all the people of the state that live here. They're going to federal.
The demons that are gang stalking with engineered light on the ceiling, engineered light framing the front door, concentrated engineered light on the ceiling above the front door, engineered light on the patio glass door, engineered light that's illuminating inside of Tracy Banks' apartment and highlighting. They're stalking with amplified noise. And none of the old people that you see crawling around on walkers and canes are the explanation for what is the amplified booming that's sounding inside of the apartment, while the shadow of the floor lamp is appearing on the wall here. This is called stalking with light. And this is called stalking with audible activity. Just like the old people were at 7 this morning, where the fake sun that you're going to see is over the same front door where it was at 7 in the morning. This is where at the same time in the natural environment, the sun is not mutually over Alvarado Gardens at 1810 North Alvarado Street. And in that supernatural environment, a bunch of demons are all they're doing is stalking with light while they're in that environment. This is what is not sunlight, and neither is that sunlight that's coating everything, because the sun that is at the same time of year, at the same time over me in Los Angeles at 1810 North Alvarado Street is not, contrary to what you're going to see right now, going to be over Woodside Senior Apartments. And it also isn't going to be over Woodside Senior Apartments for what is from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 4 hours later, still over the same apartment, which is what you're going to see here. That's not sunlight, and none of this is sunlight outside. This is all engineered light. All right, and the entity has the fake sun directly over in the same manner over me at 1810 North Alvarado Street in Los Angeles, where YouTube is the venue of the internet, and all of these old people are gang stalking and engaging what is monitoring on the internet as well. It's surveillance that the people of the state are sharing in, and these old people are stalking with amplified noise. In the entirety of the building, units 33 through 64 are subject to federal prison, and Linda Reyes is also engaged in surveillance on the internet, monitoring my genitalia while I'm subject to ads in a manner that YouTube does not operate, interfering with ads pertaining to pubic hairs. That's the specific content that the demons that are engaging in surveillance on the internet use to engage in what is monitoring and harassing, a method of what is interfering with sleep, in the same way that they did this morning with the demons inside of the building of units 49 through 64. Amplified audible activity used to interrupt sleep, and today, right now, what I'm documenting, interfering with ads on the venue of the internet with regard to interfering with sleep. It's the same P.O.C. It's the evidence of what is surveillance, and it's also the evidence of demons who know exactly what it is that's going on with your pubic hair when they use such content to monitor you, and ads are not used to interfere with what are the videos that are coming on the YouTube feed. This is where the supernatural is occurring. 7:30 in the morning, the entity has the fake sun right here, and here it is 4 hours later, right over the top of my head. And you also know that at 5:21 p.m. it's right here. The fake sun's not going anywhere. This is where the city of Ontario is gang stalking with all the old people that are stalking with amplified noise. The demons in Unit 52, the demon in Unit 56, the demon in Unit 55 surrounding in the immediate environment. None of them individually or collectively are what is the cause for what is amplified booming inside of the apartment. And they are engaged in what is monitoring me while I'm asleep. They're all demons over 55 collecting government assistance while they're gang stalking with the city of Ontario. That is a sex offender monitoring my genitalia and interrupting me while I'm sleeping and aware of it. And they're also obsessed with my genitalia. That's why they're interrupting with ads on YouTube pertaining to pubic hairs. That's speaking to the sex offenders that are going to federal prison and mental asylums. The sex offenders that are gang stalking. They're also in custody of minor children, the mental health patients in Unit 41. All right, they're going to federal prison. They're going to mental asylums, gang stalking. License 9TAZ076. They're parked in what is Unit 41's parking spot. They're gang stalking, relevant position with minor children, and engaging what is the sex offender federal group stalking monitoring with the people of the state. That which is over Tracy Banks' front door is not going to be over me at the same time, contrary to what I documented on this day in Los Angeles. And that's also why you document the sex offenders who are very much interested in my genitalia, referencing genitalia in ads where you are subject to what is surveillance in the specific environment. And this is the sun that's over me in Los Angeles at the same time at Alvarado Gardens is not creating any sunlight. Even while I'm in Los Angeles and I am standing at the front door, sunlight is never going to appear in this manner on the inside of a building, nor is it going to appear on the ceiling. Like here, none of this is sunlight. That's not sun, and neither is this, and neither is anything that's touching over here. And this is again over 4 hours later where the sun is in the same position. This is where the sun is also setting. These are sex offenders and the evidence of the content where I'm subject to that is used to monitor and harass to interfere with sleep, while a bunch of old people are hostile, exposed sex offenders and domestic terrorists engaging in psychological torture. They are doing so pursuant to the pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring, both on the venue of the internet and in relevant position at the venue, not the private residence of Woodside Senior Apartments. Linda Reyes is going to federal prison, and her admitted engagement in what is sexual violence while pubic hairs are used as a means of monitoring on the venue of the internet. That's going against the case against Linda Reyes. This is P.O.C. It's currently 11:31 a.m.